Okay. Record. Eh. Hi guys, it's me Nakia. Okay, so for this episode, I'll be doing a backstory for the chase. So I understand ramai macam confused sikit lah. Ada part macam like mana hantu dia. Korang cuma nampak part satu je kan, yang part hantu tu tengah baring kat lantai. Okay, actually there's more to it lah. What happened, I think this story happened maybe about 2 years ago. And in the video tu, the location and when I shot the cerita, it is actually at my mother-in-law's house. And the actual place where this thing happened to me is there. Malam-malam tu, what happened was, selalunya when kita dekat my mother-in-law's house kan, kita tak akan stay that late tau. Pukul 8 dah balik gitu. But that particular night, my husband, kita tengah syok lah lepak dengan my brother-in-law semua. My mother-in-law tengah enjoy kan. So that particular night, kita balik lambat sikit. And selalunya bila sebelum I buka pintu kan, I always make a conscious effort to actually cakap bismillah. Because I've heard a lot of people diorang cakap like before you do anything, before you step out of the house, buka pintu toilet, buka tingkap, anything lah, sebaik-baiknya cakap bismillah. So daripada kecil kan, I always have this habit of cakap bismillah. But that particular night, tak tahu apa pasal tau, hati very berat lah nak cakap bismillah tau. So when I open the front door, nak keluar kan, sengaja tau, hati, I still remember till this day, hati cakap, what if you don't say bismillah this time Nakia? Lillahi ta'ala, I don't know why I think that way, but because of my thinking macam itu, I didn't say bismillah. Terus when I open the door, I literally nampak ada benda hitam ni just in front of the gate, tengah macam gitu, the reverse crawl away very fast. But at the point of time dah macam terperanjat tau, macam apa aku nampak ni? And my husband pun nampak juga. Terus he told me, dia terus pekik, dia cakap, you kucing keluar, Ricky keluar. So at first dah macam terfikir apa benda tu. Then when my husband pekik macam gitu, terus I fikir alah kucing lah. Otak terus macam tak fikir apa-apa. Terus I went out, I kejar after the cat lah. So mother-in-law kucing ni, Ricky nama dia, dia memang suka keluar tau. Dia suka cari can. Kita buka pintu je, dia mesti lompat keluar tau. Tak tahu apa salah, suka sangat dia escape keluar kan. So memang dah biasa, kita dah expect lah, kalau kucing hitam kan, mesti Ricky punya. Because dia dah selalu keluar ni semua, kita tahu tau. Dia ada dua tau. Dia either suka lepak dekat tingkat 4 ataupun dia suka lepak dekat tingkat 7. So actually in the video tu, korang cuma nampak akak naik dekat 7 je kan. But in fact, the real story lah, what actually happened was, I actually went down to tingkat 4. I went down to tingkat 4, I tengok tempat yang dia selalu lepak tu tak ada. So akak naik tingkat 7. When I went up to tingkat 7 that night kan, rasa macam satu macam punya lain lah. But it was so weird walking that alleyway tau. Memang lah that tempat jalan tu memang on its own hari biasa, even pagi tau, memang seram tau. Dia punya lighting and because depan dia tu ada sekolah, so macam maybe dia block the sunlight lah. So when I was tengah cari Ricky tu kan, tiba-tiba bulu rumah meremang, habis telinga berdesing tau. Dia macam gitu tau, macam deafening lah. It's like a deafening silence, tak tahu apa pasal. Tu dah panik juga tau. Then my mata adjusted to the floor, nampak ada this benda ni, nampak macam buntut kucing. You know kalau kucing dia macam baring gitu kan, macam roti gitu kan, dia tengah baring kat corner gitu. So when I saw that, I was like, Ricky lah. I slowly approach tau. When I slowly approach, I realised that Ricky, ekor dia kelakar tau. Ekor dia macam terbengkok gitu tau. So kalau nak belok, nak macam dia nak sembunyikan ekor dia, tak boleh. Because ekor dia memang naturally macam terkeluar gitulah. So I was like thinking, asal dia ni tak ada ekor macam smooth macam gitu. Sekali the more when I macam tengah focus on that thing, terus the more tegang leher, bulu roma naik. Then benda tu decided to tolehkan kepala dia. So the rest what you see on the video tu is what I experience lah. As much as possible, I try to depict rasa macam benda tu memang betul-betul tengah ikut tau. Macam I feel like macam I'm running away, rasa macam laju lah gitu lari kan, tapi got the feeling macam benda tu macam everywhere. Diorang macam, bukan diorang lah minta bukan lebih satu lah, tapi got the feeling macam diorang kan ada special ability kan, so macam diorang boleh teleport lah gitu. So what you see in that video, if you all watch it carefully, every part I lari ada hantu tu actually. Dia dekat tangga, dia dekat belakang sofa, dia dekat belakang tembok, semua macam-macam. Yeah, so that's exactly how I feel at that point of time lah. Bila dah sampai dekat my mother-in-law nya pintu tu, pulaknya that week diorang baru pasang pintu lock baru. I didn't really remember dia punya combination tau. So that's why in the video korang nampak akak tengah struggling, picit semua kan. Finally when I managed to open the door, I didn't really see my husband, but I saw this black figure besar badan dia di belakang pintu. At that point of time when this thing happened, I didn't tengok betul-betul macam, oh ni laki aku ke bukan. Because at that point of time dah terlalu panik, dah terlalu stress kan. My thought is, I just need to masuk toilet, cuci kaki. Because dah banyak kali benda ni happen, my dad always cakap, go toilet, cuci kaki, kalau lagi best ambil wudu. Because you need to protect yourself. So that's what I did. I just cakap dengan my husband, cakap, oh thank you so much buka pintu, I'm just gonna go to the toilet and wash my feet now. Then I did that. So when I went inside the toilet, apa korang nampak lah kat video tu, dah tengah cuci kaki, dah lega sikit tau hati tau, dah Masya Allah dah selamat kan kononnya lah. Then my husband texted, dia cakap, kau kat mana, you kat mana? I kat bawah ni. Dia dah pack lauk semua tadi, dia dah kat bawah. Mana you? Tu part I was like, alamak, siapa lagi ni? Pulaknya that time in the video, you all tak boleh nampak sangat lah. But actually what I saw was, there's this face and makin dekat dengan that pintu toilet tau. Itu part nak baca ayat kursi pun tak boleh, nak baca doa apa benda pun tak boleh, as in tak boleh lafazkan pasal dalam toilet. So dah macam rasa trap tau. What I had to do was to just baca dalam hati, nangis-nangis dan text my husband cakap, you naik balik ni semua and everything. Tak nak berjerit pasal my mother-in-law tengah tidur semua, pulaknya she wasn't feeling well and everything like that. Dah lama-lama I think it felt very long to me, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to me. But my husband cakap dia naik immediately. Like the moment I texted cakap I still tengah start ini semua kan, dia naik cepat. So to him it was only like maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes gitu. Yeah, but to me rasa sangat lama lah. So when he finally came up kan, I didn't want to open the door because takut, really takut. Like not funny say, like dah kena kejar semua, habis dah kena fake once kan. So takkan nak bodoh percaya lagi. So when I finally tanya dia soalan semua, dan nangis-nangis semua, tanya dia cakap, you betul lah, you betul ni semua ni. Then finally he confirm it's him. Terus buka pintu, lari keluar. Terus kita just baca doa, like baca ayatul kursi. My husband just console me lah. And finally kita keluar from my mother-in-law's house, terus kita balik ke rumah. So actually that is the full backstory for cerita The Chase untuk korang lah So anyway, hopefully korang enjoy this backstory for The Chase. And then if you like my content, you can like and subscribe to my channel. Also thank you to my subscribers, thank you so much for your support and everything. And then till then, I'll see you again, inshallah.